Okay, I thought I would do a little follow-up video because I've been inundated with purchases from Wish, and I've opened them all already, and I thought I would just go through them, a little bit of a review video, starting with the miscellaneous things that I got so that I could tear them apart. I got this hematite necklace, magnetic. I like it. It's a bit of a pull to itself. Awesome, 100%. Between good, bad, and underwhelmed, that was very good. Very good one. Quickly, next. Stainless steel mesh. I'm going to be using this for the filtration medium of a glass etching booth. And 10 out of 10. Absolutely perfect. I've had it for a while, and it is not showing signs of rust or anything like that, so I think it is actually stainless steel. That would be the balls, really. There's a lot of poor representation on Wish. It's like what you're looking at, be very careful about the details. I have a green shirt. I got it because it looked really cool, or at least it looked really cool on the model. And even though it is a bit small, I will say 10 out of 10. It is very has a lot of potential, you know. There was one issue I had with it where I snagged the corner of the shirt on something, and the seam came apart rather a little bit too easily, but I just gotta be careful with it. If you were buying from Wish and you're not prepared to be careful with your purchase, don't buy from Wish. Next. Oh, this is a cute one. This is a bluish with just a tinge of teal, half turtleneck type shirt. This is for cosplay, Star Trek Deep Space Nine uniform. 10 out of 10. Not only did it fit, it feels really good. That's great fabric. Now, for my birthday, this is a jacket. There's a I want to say there's a vest and a pair of pants that came with it for less than 30 bucks. Compare that to an actual train conductor's costume, which was upwards of $64. 10 out of 10. Again, that was absolutely amazing. It did what it's supposed to do, and I'm holding on to it for a future purpose. It's not something I wear one time and then I would have thrown it away if it was garbage, but worth holding on to, definitely. No, there's this one. Blue camo, blue-gray camo, muscle shirt. Looked great on the model. Again, no tag identifier on the inside. It's very sus. And I'm not gonna be negative on it. It would look great on the model again. If they send me the model, it will look great. It looks like garbage on me. No. But trying to get in shape anyway. That'll be my indicator. If I look good in that shirt, then I've arrived. Speaking of working out, I got this sleeveless zip-up hoodie for getting out and getting sweaty. The size is okay. I wish it were a bit bigger, even though I got it intentionally 2 sizes too big. That's not America. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But good, bad, or just underwhelmed. I'll just say underwhelmed. If I had to buy it again, I would have gotten it a bigger size, and I would have been A+, wonderful, bad, wonderful, good stuff. Now this one does have a tag on the inside, and it is the proper size for me. Still, this was back when I was buying things at size, and when they show up, it's not as expected, but not by much. The part that I'm underwhelmed about is, you can see here, a little bit of red. It's supposed to fade to black. You could barely notice there's any red in this. The picture was much more generous to how much red I was supposed to be expecting. But we'll call that one bad, straight up bad. I expected one thing, I got something totally different, bad. Now, on the subject of my glass etching efforts, this is a little bizarre, but stick with me. This is a bag that you would use to throw up in, and then you twist it off and throw it away. It's a vomit bag. But when I saw this, all I saw was a cylinder with some housing on the outside, and if you put your arm through, you are inside the etching machine, your arm is protected, and you're doing your stuff. So these are supposed to be the arm inserts for my etching machine. And for a very minuscule price, I got quite a few of them. So, for what I wanted, it is definitely a 10 out of 10. For what it is, 10 out of 10, why not? I'm not going to use it for that, though. You know, you never know. The day may come where I need to throw up, and I need to throw up quickly. And I'm just like, where's my blue bags? And hopefully it's not going to be a bag that I've already cut the bottom off of. What next? Oh, sleeveless zip-up hoodie. I tried again, and this time they actually sent me a sleeveless zip-up hoodie with, as pictured, the zippers in the front, in the upper chest area. The red one did not have that. I wasn't so hung up on that, but this is much more fashionable. The color is fantastic. It's so rich. Teal, dark teal. I love it. Of course, what's the problem with it? Size. I got it 3 sizes bigger than it needed to be. Still too small. America, am I right? I will say, if it fit 100%, 10 out of 10, great. But I gotta slim down quite a bit to get into it. Which is really annoying. It's like 3 sizes. I went 3 sizes up, and it's still, madness. Honestly, between you and me, I think they just, they had these sizes ready, and when somebody orders something, it's like, oh, here's a large or a medium for somebody who needs a 2X. Just staple 5X on the inside and get it out of here. You know, we're trying to move inventory. We're not trying to be accurate. Anyway, but we'll call it a goal shirt. I'm trying to get into it. So that's it. Oh. When it comes to my leg situation, I got this excellent Velcro. It's like very micro hook on the Velcro, but this part goes around my leg, my amputated side. This part goes around my waist. It reaches around my waist, thank goodness. My generous waist. And it reaches around my leg. It does what it's supposed to do, and I'll give it a 10 out of 10, but for me, for the purposes I wanted it, was to work as a, they call it a stump shrinker. I hate the word stump. Makes me feel like I'm incomplete. And I was like, no, 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 no. I don't like that word. Uh, but I hate to be so precious about it that I'm like, okay, I can say that word, but you can't say that word. Like, but at the same time, I hate that word so much. Uh, but I call it my left side. It's like, this is my left side. There's nothing I can do about it. So I call it my left side. You know, it's like for what it is, better or worse, that's my left side. You call it my stump, and it's like, it raises questions. Stump of what? Oh, a full leg. I don't have a full leg, but I have a left side. And yeah, yeah, psychology later. This is a harness for correcting your posture, and for what it is and what it's supposed to do. 10 out of 10. Very good stuff. Great, actually, I like it. The problem is that I got it to correct my posture. The posture I needed to correct was the relationship between my pelvis and my spine and my lower back. This is upper back stuff. Not bad, it does what it's supposed to do. Not what I bought it for. Still, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. If I need one of these, I would buy it again. Absolutely. Okay, so that's it for the clothes. Now for the project stuff. I'll save that for last. This. Oh yeah, other miscellaneous. This is a collection of little black dots with adhesive on the back, and they're little rubber guys that hold onto your cords, and you stick them in places, and it's wire management, you know. And I thought, okay, that would be really helpful and useful in those weird occasions, and it was like $1. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get these. The problem with these is the adhesive on the back is so thick that it's not that it separates. The adhesive doesn't stick to the rubber very well. So you stick it to something, the rubber comes off with relatively small amount of force, and then you're stuck with a very strong, sticky thing stuck to whatever you stuck it to. I put it on the base of my lamp because it's got the USB in the bottom, and I was just using it to go around to the opposite side where where I'm sleeping, so I save as much cord as possible. More as a test, but that's also kind of what I bought it for. And the force of the cord pulled it right away from the rubber from the adhesive, and then I had a white dot of adhesive on my lamp, and I was like, okay, once I got that off, I was like, okay, that's an experiment. Not going to do that again. What I would recommend with it, if you're stuck with that as I am, removing the adhesive from the back and putting on a much, not stronger, but a much thinner layer of two-sided tape, or if you have the means, like I do, some double-sided tape, some transfer adhesive. 3M is the strong stuff anyway, but that's also an experiment that I have to do. If the rubber doesn't stick to that either, then I'm gonna have to adhere it to an object for cable management with a tiny little nail or screw, and then the day's gonna come where the top of the screw or the nail eats through the thing from force constantly working on it, and then I've got a nail or a screw and something that I just wanted cable management. But there are experiments to do with that, and it's really not a pressing issue, so those experiments will have to wait. Now there's this. I saw this, and I kind of kicked myself for not thinking about getting one sooner. It's got the power cord insert, there's the on switch, battery. I didn't know that it worked on batteries too, which I am super hyped about because I'll explain later. But it works great. It's got this mirror top. Look at yourself. And it just works great. Um, if I bought another one, I might get one with a light inside because when you're putting something on there, you want it to sparkle, right? If it's not on display for its abject beauty, it's because it's sparkly or something. So you definitely want a light. Anyway, but that's going to be part of the centerpiece for Halloween, which I probably should have waited on that because that's the big finale. But before that, there's this. And you want to talk about experiments. This is a wax seal press kit. This is the press, and screwed into the thing is the Oz logo. I don't know if this is going to be flipped when I upload it, but it's just the letter Z with a circle around it. It's Aussie enough for me. So I guess this is also for the Halloween, but not just for the Halloween, because I've got others. And you can buy the seal presses a la carte. Now this is just a cat with the phases of the moon above. It's very difficult to focus on. Anyway, 10 out of 10. Love it. It gave me something to do for like 2 days. For the Aussie stuff, I got green wax, and I had an idea. This is gold pigment, and I did some experiments with it that went really well. Problem is that I used too much. It's like you just dust it onto a piece of felt or a yeah, pretty much a piece of felt or a piece of fabric. You dab it a few times, just get it dusty on the inside areas, and then you take it to a clean area and you wipe it off the face and use it. And then everything with depth is going to have gold in it, and everything else is going to have green. So very, very much what I plan on using for the Oz setup. And that brings us to the Oz setup. Let's not wish. I think technically that wasn't wish either. Now, as part of my costume for Halloween, or just Halloween in general is why I bought this, there's this mask, and it's kind of a tougher resin, so it can easily break, but it is resin. And as soon as you get it, you realize it looks ridiculous with a human face behind it. So I would recommend a black face mask, this over it. And then it would be most epic. What I discovered, and this is not from Wish, that here is my prosthetic mask for the Cowardly Lion for Halloween. Now you take this mask and you put this below it. They match up size-wise. You know, masks seem to be one size fits all, but it also gives a heck of an effect, a very evil effect, and I'm here for it. Combine this with this, and you gotta break it into pieces because I want the bottom to move with my mouth and the top to not move. So, and that's if I use the bottom. I could just use the top and make that it. Depends on how it looks. But as far as masks go, okay, for what I'm going to use it for, 10 out of 10. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for quality. It showed up broken. I fixed it, but it showed up broken. I got this from Walmart for the Cowardly Lions Medal of Courage. Now this one I've had some trouble with. This is absolutely gorgeous. Although the first time I ordered it, it showed up purple. Actually pink. To me that's like purple, but, you know, diffused. But, so I ordered it again, and I got what I wanted. Now, the thing is, so, and you shouldn't have to do that, but, and I didn't return the old one, I gave it to my mom, but, for what it is, if you could find it probably anywhere else, it's just a colored glass paperweight. And yeah, you probably won't find it for less than you'll find it on Wish, but more reliably than you'd find it on Wish. If I were in a rush, I would be jolly well screwed by... If you're in a rush, do not order from Wish at all. If you're within 3 weeks of something, of needing something, do not order it from Wish. And here is my version of it's just a brooch, but that is going to be the actual Cowardly Lions Medal of Courage. I may do the blue thing where it says courage on the underneath. Maybe. I don't know. I tend to go for authenticity more than accuracy when it comes to costumes. So if it doesn't look cool enough, if it looks good, but it doesn't scream Cowardly Lion, I will put the blue thing on it. Alright. This, it's difficult to see. These are dangly earrings with little fake diamonds at the end of each strand, and it's like 3 strands. It's earring things that have little jewels at the bottom. Anyway, I'm going to be using this to construct the Glinda crown. And to that subject, here's empty bags. I got a series of things that were just red with, you know, red jewels in them, and I thought this would be cool looking. It looks like the jewels are candy. They're just too bright. I thought this would be a cool one for anybody who wanted to be the Wicked Witch. I'd give them that. And leaning in on anything for the lion, I got this. I may be adding this to this and putting courage in front. We'll see how it goes. That's a touch and go element. Now this was awesome. This is a lion with a ring coming out of its mouth, but it's a drawer pull. It's not actual jewelry. It's not a brooch. It's not a nothing. And I could see by its construction, it really wasn't that much of a bother for them to make it. But decent enough quality. When I bought it, at the time I was thinking I would have a half cape going around and this would be on it. Then I thought, if I'm going to be Cowardly Lion / Jack the Ripper, I'm not going to be having a half cape. I'm going to have a duster jacket and little tiny sunglass type things with a hat. I may not even have to worry about lion ears. So this is up for grabs as to what I'm going to do for it with it. Here's another set of dangly earrings for the Glinda crown. This arrived just today, and it's obviously super duper cheap. It's got a set of earrings, a necklace, and down here That is a ring. This belongs in the trash. But for what I bought it for, I didn't expect quality. But this, onto itself, this upside down is going to be the base of the Glenda crown. These things are going to have to be glued in an upward position, and it's going to save me a lot of headache constructing that crown. Now here's another one I thought would be cool for the for anybody who wanted to be the Wicked Witch. Big if, I'm shopping for a costume that doesn't even exist. I'm such an idiot. But that one actually does look cool. Now, the more I think about the Wicked Witch costume, the more I like the juxtaposition of green everywhere, but purple. Purple jewels, purple this, purple that. I mean, of course they're going to be wearing black, but black, green, complemented with the secondary color of purple, I think would look cool. Because green and red are opposites. And that's why I chose red, but yeah, the more thought I give it, purple would look a lot better next to green, for the sake of Halloween. So I believe that's it for Glenda and Elphaba. Now this one I was super duper happy with. It says, focus over the rainbow. And it's a little music box. And awesome. Very awesome. I'm gonna make this a giveaway at the brunch. The problem is I already know who I'm gonna give it away to. Now this was just a project. I needed a monkey, and I needed wings. Problem is the wings are silver, the monkey is brass. But I constructed it anyway. This is a flying monkey, and after I was done constructing it, I realized it looks like Oz Airlines stewardess pin. Like, welcome to Oz Air. It's like, we will crash this plane into you and your little dog too. But I like how it turned out. I may spray paint it to make it all one color, but yeah, it's kind of a one and done project. It's not like I'm gonna hold on to it for an extended period of time. And then I got these very, very cheap. It's like 100 or so. I forget the quantity, but they sold them as rose petals, and I was like, okay, rose petals are rose petals, but you put a set of 5 or 6 of these together in one little flower, a black ornament in the middle, and preferably with some sort of stamen situation, also black poking out. And boom, you've got poppies, homemade poppies. But if you have looked at the price of buying ready-made fake poppies, I was like, they are stupid expensive. And it's not that they're expensive, it's just for what I'm going to use them for. Elbow grease replaces money every time. Plus, I bought them well in advance. I can do that at my leisure. Alright, one more bad one before I move on to the final good one. Nope, the final good ones. This little jewels in what was sold to me as tape. That is not tape. It's stretchy a bit. But if this is going to stick to anything, I will have to stick it myself with hot glue or whatever. Problem is, these jewels, they are little tiny jewel things. And they come off. And not what I thought I was buying at all. I just wanted a gold accent so it can go around something, some green glasswork. I got some green glasswork right here. So this is just a small decanter. And yeah, it's not what I thought I was buying. Now this was sold to me as like a little geode thing. They said the visual might vary. It does have an iridescent shine to it, and it's green like I wanted. Do I have? Oh, I do. This guy. Oh, no, no. There we go. So this is a light. It's not part of the demonstration here, but this is what I was doing. It looks cooler from my direction, so I'll turn it around. But yeah, it's green, and if it's backlit, it looks more awesome than I anticipated it would. But it's also very small and by itself, and if I can squeeze it in, I'll squeeze it into the centerpiece. If I can't, I can't. You know, I'm not excited about it. It is cool by itself and of itself, but I'm not going to rearrange the entire arrangement just for that. It's going to be an extra little bit of something at best. But it is what I expected. Very 10 out of 10 for that one. Also a 10 out of 10. I have not yet decided whether the Cowardly Lion is going to have a crown or not. But when I saw these, I thought to myself, and this one is very, very much in the feminine direction, but there is nothing holding it on my head but gravity. But when I saw it, I was like, okay, that is the Cowardly Lion's crown. But if the Cowardly Lion were Queen of the Forest, that would be more appropriate. I originally bought it for a game called The Great Dumb Moody, because it has upper level and lower level headgear that you have to wear. It's like, there's the king, there's the prince. It's like there's the king queen level, there's the prince princess level, and it's like nobody, and at the bottom there's some insulting hat. We had a dunce cap for the longest time and used it for that, but for playing the game at the Oz Brunch, which may not happen now, because I've changed the venue. So this is kind of up for grabs. It could very well be a focal point of the centerpiece on the table, because it is just awesome enough for that. And another problem that arose was, I saw that, I jumped on it immediately. Then I go shopping later, and I saw something else, and I jumped on it immediately, because it's just so cheap. But this. Now this is a little bit more masculine, a little bit. But yeah. Again, nothing holding it on but gravity. I didn't notice that these look like stars at the top, but it's really just 5 dots around holding in that little black jewel. It looked dark enough that maybe there's a masculine quality to it, but if I'm gonna be wearing a top hat, then the Cowardly Lion may not be wearing this. It's like, as far as the centerpiece goes, this could be one side, this could be the other. If you're on either side of the table, you're not going to be critiquing whether or not these are these match each other. You know, you're not gonna care. A lot of things for the Halloween Oz brunch. A lot of clothes, and this was very. It's been a long time, so I grabbed everything that I bought off of Wish and threw it in a pile. No. I'm still on the hunt for one of these that's red. Because one side of the table is going to be very green, the other side is going to be very ruby, and and other plans for the centerpiece is going to be when I get the Glenda hat put together, or the crown put together. There's going to be a small, clear Christmas ornament that's going to be the bubble that Glenda travels in, and inside is going to be printed onto clear. Here's Glenda on one side, and then a flipped image of the same image of Glenda on the other side. So unless you're a slave to left-right orientation, you're not going to notice. You're just going to notice that there's Glenda and she's in a bubble. And what else? Oh, I noticed, maybe it was unintentional, you know, MGM, when they produced the film in 1939, may or may not have noticed that there was a continuity consistency that they may not have intended. Because they originally wanted the ruby slippers to be a stark contrast to the yellow road. It was colorful. They were producing the film in color, and partly in color, partly in sepia tones. But yeah, they replaced silver from the storybooks with ruby, and I mean the results were great, because you had the yellow brick road, the blue of her socks, and the red, primary colors just probably very much dazzling the crowds back then. Very, very good use of color. Being said, it was ruby slippers. Red ruby slippers. And then later in the movie, the Wicked Witch of the West goes to her mirrored ball, which has red smoke in it. And then she flips an hourglass to show some sort of a quantum entanglement that hourglass has with a spell on Dorothy's life that will end in an hour, and for some reason no longer works if you break it or if you leave the castle. I mean, a huge plot hole. It's like, just because she's not in the room, doesn't that still mean... Anyway. I was like, why is she safe just because she left the room? She could have jumped out the window and taken her chances with falling on the pavement. I was like, if you're in a room where you're definitely going to die, you take that chance. And, being said, the sand in the hourglass is red. Makes me think that there is a continuity with saying that there's a red material in Oz that is the source of the evil witch's powers. Because Sister gets these ruby slippers, and Elphaba gets all this red granulated magical stuff, right? So I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be like part of her magic is flying around on this broom. Well, what if hidden in the base of the broom is this really powerful remnant of a ruby, and that's where she gets her power? You know, that's a little bit meta for what was originally intended, I'm sure. But if an artistic reimagining of the Wizard of Oz, not including that little color chromatic detail, it just seems lazy. Like, take advantage of it. You know, make ruby red material a character in the movie, or successive movies. And as we know, in as we know. Like everybody's seen it. In Wicked, um, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Wicked, I don't know if I'm ruining this for you. I don't remember if it was a detail that started at the beginning, but interacting with Elphaba and her sister, not the same sister from Oz the Great and Powerful. Elphaba's actual sister in Wicked can't walk, and Elphaba creates the ruby slippers to help her walk. I.e., they've got magical powers. And, and then they get transferred to Dorothy in the original movie. They still got magical powers. She never ever uses them until the end, but whatever. Or, I mean, even if they had included just it has the power to take you wherever you want to go, and she could have walked, she could have not walked, but Dorothy could have clicked them together, get where she wanted to. How she doesn't have them when she gets to where she's going, beyond me. Actually, that could be a reason that the sister never used them to teleport. Because if you teleport, they teleport you, but they don't come with you. And if she teleported anywhere, she would be without them and then unable to walk. Very meta. Moving on. I was just drawing this conclusion that red material in the Land of Oz has the evil powers, and the green material, the Emeralds of Oz, have the good power. Why not? So, you got the witches who know how to use ruby power, and you have the wizard who does not know how to use emerald power, trying to defend Oz from actual evil witches. Anyway, so all my way of saying that I went through a lot of long video. I went through a lot of incarnations of the centerpiece where it was just witch, black and green witch stuff for Elphaba. And then I went through the idea where it's just the Land of Oz, where you've got grass and yellow brick roads, and the Emerald City is just a part of it. But it could also be the Lollipop Land could be a part of it, the Munchkin Land be a part of it. I think they're the same place. It could be a subsidiary of the Munchkin Land. I don't know. But, yeah. And the third possibility was it could be inside the Emerald City itself, and then everything would be emeralds. Everything would be green and gold Art Deco. But I decided that Elphaba was too specific. The Emerald City was too specific, and it would actually create more work to get that specific. So I just keep it general. Land of Oz, you've got, I have it in my save for later list. Tablecloth that looks like grass. I'm going to be making the poppies, and the Land of Oz, or the City of Oz itself, is going to be the centerpiece. So that way, if I include anything else, like a detail from Glinda, her crown and her in a bubble. I'm also over here going to be having either a red mirrored ball or a red sand hourglass with either witch's hands underneath that I might have to construct, or a witch's hat on top of, black witch's hat on top of, and yeah. But I'm gonna signify the two witches. I'm gonna keep it very this or that. I'm not going to go down the path of exploring in detail the Wicked Witch of the East and her backstory. I'm just going to keep it red, green. Red and green are going to be there. But then there's going to be Glenda, just kind of shoehorned in. I don't know. Is she from? She must be from the land of bubbles and cotton candy, because that's what she's dressed as, pretty much the entire movie. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep it simple like that. The runner is going to be Yellow Brick Road, although I am thinking of creating an art file where I use yellow vinyl, cut out a Yellow Brick Road to where it's got to be 24 inches wide, and where the table is, it's going to go. I have to go to the venue and measure the table for this, but it starts 24 inches wide, and then it swirls around like it does in the Munchkin Land, and I have to make a decent file for that. Because I would then vinyl transfer that directly to the tablecloth, so long as it matches the table. Hopefully the swirl can reach the center of the table, and then I could do maybe Yellow Brick Road on one side, another Yellow Brick Road on the other side of the swirl, or in the movie it's a Red Brick Road going the other direction. So that's gonna be a thinker. Gonna be thinking on that. Luckily I have a lot of months to think about it. Keeps me up at night. Anyway, so that is my plans for Halloween, combined with a rundown of The Good, Bad, and the Ugly from Wish. There are other things, but it's either it was so long ago I've forgotten about them, or it was just too inconvenient to grab it this time. So I'm going to pack all this shit back up. And I guess I will end on this note. Another project, little side project, is for my left side. I'm working on a monofin, like a little biological looking, imagine a mermaid's tail. Something that will move organically in the water, which is going to be a difficult one to accomplish in and of itself, but it's going to have regular diving fins somehow adhered to the end. And this I bought from Wish, not really caring whether or not these are probably going to replace my whole monofin idea. So at the end, you could have these, and I noticed they have a curve to them. It's like it's much more curved on this side, much more scoopy on this side. And while these were designed to go onto a diving, a surfboard, I guess they go underneath and they keep it going straight. I saw these and I felt these and I got so excited. This is a game changer. Decent quality. A lot of places where I could adhere this very securely to the tail. And game changer. Game changer. I'm going to have to reevaluate my idea. But this is worth reevaluating my idea over. 10 out of 10. And that's that. Alright. Well, I've already gone way long with this video. Alright, well, everyone have a good evening, good afternoon, and good night. And, yeah, I haven't really gotten used to setting up an outro, but I'm working on it. Till then, never run out of things to celebrate, guys.